now that you've had a chance to develop some teaching strategies to develop your students' brain and language and cognitive development, let's go ahead and look at their health and physical development and see how our lessons support that. Keep in mind that we don't always have to have our lesson concentrate on actually growing a student in terms of their ability to do some sort of physical behavior, even though that is a big thing, especially at the younger years when we're concentrating on fine and gross motor skills. But at maybe an older age, we want to make sure that as the student's going through puberty, that their physical development and their differences in physical development doesn't create a problem in terms of their learning in class. So we want to describe and defend a teaching strategy that's going to support our students' health and physical development. So we need to look at our teaching strategy and find one in our standards-based lesson plan, and as always, if something's missing, not specific enough, lacking in details, well, let's expand that to make it better. Step number one, according to the example author, says that when you have a discussion, you should have some sort of very safe environment. And the author noticed that he or she did not have that. So included and expanded the discussion to include 3 different guides, which incorporates some safe rules. So the speaker should listen, and the speaker is speaking and the listener is listening for discussion guide number 1. 2, no put downs, only put ups. So folks can't call people's names, especially if they look a different way. And any disagreements, we should start out with a very safe, maybe we can consider, and they want to be able to defend why this is going to help the student's physical development. So that's step 2. So while you're deciding what you should use as your defense, consider these things. How does your teaching strategy develop your students' gross or fine motor development? How does it involve students playing? How does it involve supporting physical changes as they undergo puberty if you're working with older students? And how does it help students with obesity or eating disorders? So review the resources, read through the text, and you'll also get some teaching strategies by reading through the text of how you can do this, and then defend it. And so basically the defense of this is that many students have different shapes and sizes, protects their identity, so we want to make sure that anytime we have interaction there are very clear guidelines of how to do it in respectful ways. Then present and communicate our answers for step 1 and 2, describe and defend, electronically. Again, you can use text, but I always encourage a use of multimedia, so that if you could find, for example, a series of physical images that you found on the internet that show the physical challenges of your student's age group and explain that real briefly, it'll keep you from having to write too much. Once you've completed steps 1 and 2, you want to go to your lesson plan, go to the very bottom, and as you are going through this, notice that we're talking about the brain, we've done that, language, Piaget, Vygotsky, and now we're doing physical development. We add that into our lesson plan. Notice that the underlined sections are still being reflected in the actual lesson plan itself here. And in this way we can see our lesson plan grow and become much better. So let's move on to the next developmental lesson.